let us not sleep. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Smile. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, TB. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah, like me, I would just want to ask, like, the first thing I would want to ask, like, yesterday, I was wondering, like, okay, I'm not in Kenya, but I was watching through TikTok live. Some guy was at Kware. I was asking myself, Rao alienda kufanya nini Kware? Naona. So me when I just looked at the crowd and how the crowd was charged, like Gen Z youth could not listen to him. People were just like shouting, no dialogue, no dialogue, no dialogue. So me kuna venye nimeona saizi hata hawa politicians, they have realized that there is a paradigm shift, like no youth is giving a fuck about them, like youth now, people know what they want. Hata jana akienda huko Kware, like it was just like a normal thing. Unajua ile kitambo Rao angeingia kama akamkunji hivi, yani people would be on their knees, but yesterday it was just a normal thing. People were just continuing with their activities, etc, etc. So that is one thing that is really making me happy about this movement. Another thing, just this morning, I've just seen a story that has been run by Star. I don't know if you've seen it. Like there's a guy that has been apprehended yesterday, or I don't know, 14th. That this guy just a serial killer Kibe just calls a random boda guy at 3 a.m. Like they want, like he want to go and dispose a body, and this boda guy goes to report this guy at some police station called Villa or something. Like I was just reading the story from stand. I'm just saying, like who kind of us who is this serial killer who just calls a random boda guy that I want you to help me dispose this body. So to me, the story looks too suspicious. It's either the government is trying to to divert people's attention, and just come up with some theories regarding these Kware massacre, and everything. Though they're saying it's still under investigation, but the stories now they've started running through these mainstream media. Is that shocking? Is that shocking? Mtu mwenye anaua, mtu mwenye anachinja watu anawezaje pigia mtu wa ndudhi nataka unisaidie kudispose hii body? Either these people are accomplices, ama gava inatucheza. The last thing that I want to mention, jana nimesikia, nilikuwa kwa space ya Eric, and man, vitu Wanjiga alikuwa anasema, I was just being shocked, like I was asking myself, why are we even paying this debt? Unaona, Ruto juzi amesema eti anaunda task force. Wanjiga alisema hiyo task force haina hata forensic auditor. Then I was just asking myself, unajua kuna vitu mtu, kuna venye unaweza pangwa na mtu uone huyu jamaa ananipanga. We've been paying this debt. Ruto nao anasema they want to do audit of the public debt. Now, what have we been paying? Why have we been paying this? Even to a common man, ukichukua loan kwa sako ama kwa bank, there's something they give you, like like an amortization schedule, like inakwambia Kibe, you should be paying maybe 10,000 every month, etc, etc. And now what have we been paying? If the government hata hawajui date yetu ni nini, tunalipa nini, unaona? Then ya mwisho, nimepitia hizi screenshot zenye watu wanataka Boni. Sometime back I was in campus politics, and these are things that I used to see. People used to chat each other on WhatsApp, and just come up with stories about me, like I was like huyu ni mimi, like these are just, like you are saying, coordinated attacks. And what I love with Boni is Boni has been through this. Unaona, even these guys, like they even don't know how to Photoshop things, like hata wewe unaona tu, this is bullshit. So what I would just say like let's just keep on with this fight. Sisi tulikuwa na demo huku na ilienda vizuri sana. Let's just keep on. Na venye tu unasema hawa ma politicians hatuwataki. Unaona? Hii kitu acha tu tuiran venye naenda, hatuwataki tu wakae tu kando. Akina youth leader huko akina Oburu anasema tusikize elders nini nini. Hawa watu ndio wametuingiza kwa hii shimo. Rao sahii hizo pressure anapiga utapata tu anatafutia watu wa ODM cabinet slots. Unaona? Tumemzoea na hizo pressure zake. Atapiga Ruto, atafinya Ruto, alafu apewe cabinet slots hapo, wasalimiane nini nini. Sisi hatutaki hizo story. Na Ruto bado tunamwangalia akirecycle tu watu hivi, bado tunarudi street. So thanks Kibe, acha nikuwe kwa listening hapa chini.
Thank you, Keo, man. That was nice. I had a question though.
Go ahead.
Sijui kama uliona hizo bodies zilikuwa retrieved over the weekend.
Nilizicheki.
What was your first thought when you saw the bodies all being retrieved from the same place? What was your first thought?
Okay, mimi kitu ya kwanza ilinikuja kwa mind ni kwanza nilifikiria hizi story zenye ukam za human trafficking, hizi human organ trafficking. But that was the first, like nilikuwa na three theories: human organ trafficking, ama hawa watu walikuwa abducted, maybe maybe waliuliwa though, sasa wanakuwa disposed hapo, ama kitu ya tatu mimi nilikuwa nimefikiria ni hizi ma deal gone wrong. So I didn't know that there were many bodies, unaona. But sasa venye nilikuwa naona hizo venye zinaliftiwa hapo, man, ilini shock. And what shocked me the most is there is a police station, adjacent to that place. There is a police station. Kware, hiyo area najua. Nikiwa Kenya nilikuwa nakaa hapo Tasia. So najua hiyo area. So mi bado acha tuone venye lakini hakunanga kitu gava huwa ina investigate wana kamna report. Hakuna kama ule jamaa bado anaparimbulate huko coast. Huyu jamaa alikuwa ananyonga mtu ndio akufe ndio azika. Anaitwa nani huyu jamaa wa church huko? Anaitwa Mackenzie, unaona. So sijui, but venye gava ina na history Andrew, wanasema mara ni female, mara ni male, mara juu hata mainstream media wanatutupa vibaya sana, unaona. Numbers wana report si numbers ziko kwa ground. Hebu ukipata time, kuna majamu huko hapo TikTok live au majamu peana the exact number of watu wamekuwa retrieved, unaona, from that quarry. So sijui, but it's really a big thing, and let's see what these agencies are going to come up with. But mimi naona, because some people are still missing, so it might be that some people who are abducted found their way into that quarry.
All right. Thank you. Okay. I just wanted to know your thoughts about that because I've not really made up my mind about what I think. You know what I mean? Sija decide nimeona nini bado.
But Kibe, acha nikuulize, sorry for taking time. Unaona hapo nyuma there is this Chile, this girl, 20-year-old girl that was killed hapo nyuma. Hapo hiyo time kulikuwa na femicide attack, unaona, na tulikuwa tunaambiwa she was killed like alikatwa, alichinjwa. So pia nilikuwa nafikiria story kama hiyo. Unajua ni kitu tumesikiza, ni kitu imekuwa reported Kenya, like it's something we've heard of. So like yani my mind is just clouded, unaona, you're just thinking about a lot of things like what
So
was happening.
so now with all that, all those speculations that we have,
Uh-huh.
do you think it's healthy to have that much speculation as a country?
It's not healthy, yani kuna information overload, unaona, na
Ndio
now you don't
hiyo, we have too much of because sasa imagine now the whole country has to process bodies dumped at a dump site,
and you don't know who to trust.
and you
Unaona?
because if whoever comes up with the information today, you will not believe them.
Kabisa. So acha nikuulize, madha ni kameti alidirectiwa huko na ndoto. Okay, mi sijui but sijui man but mimi
Hapana, hiyo nayo tusema tu ukweli, hiyo ni story. Tuache hizo dramatica. That woman needs to be asked the real questions.
ni
What do you mean
vipindi
what do you mean uli direct wati na ndoto? Hiyo
na
ndoto mbona
ndoto.
hujai kudirect uende ukachukue do mahali?
Unaona, so ni vipindi tu, unaona. So then kuna story pia nilisoma mahali eti kuna politician unaweza pata watu walienda kuchukua bodies kwa mogwa. Hizo ni story tu, kwani nani anaweza kuwa na hiyo biashara? Unamletea body anachinja, ana wrap kwa bag, wanaenda kutupa. But kitu ya kwanza ni madhe wa ndoto. Unaona madhe wa ndoto huyu, kuna story
lazima aulizwe vizuri, maswali vizuri. Wewe hizi ndoto zako zilianza saa ngapi? Uliona nani? Ulikuwa umekunywa nini? And then also we must think at this time when there's a lot of unrest. Ujue kuna akili kubwa kuliko yako itaingia kucheza hii game.
Zinacheza already, zinacheza.
Nikaa zamani wazai wetu walienda kufight wakiwa na bow and arrow, wakapata wazungu wako na gun. So there are some bigger brains that are playing the game already, and we must be very careful not to fall into the trap of these bigger brains. You know, people who have done this propaganda game many years, they have a lot of experience. Wanajua vile wanaweza cheza hii game watu wakasirike ama watu wafurahie ama watu wachome.
So saizi Kibe, kuna 3 things zisha come up na zinasemwa na gava. Sawa, there's this woman with me, I'll call it that's just a story, this woman with a dream. There is this guy that was apprehended. Hii story nimekwambia imekuwa run na Star. Unaona, huyu mtu wa bodaboda na sijui huyu jamaa alikuwa anataka kwenda kudispose body juzi. So kama ni serial killer, anajua saizi it is in the public that bodies are being dumped there. How would this guy again call a random bodaboda guy, at around 3 a.m. that he wants to like I have something to to deliver somewhere. Then this guy asks him, what is it? He just tells this guy with a lot of courage that I want to dispose a body. Wewe Andrew, how true can this be? Like, you just tell a random guy, I want to dispose a body. Like, are you not even afraid that this guy can report you to the authorities? That is one thing. The last thing is the government is now saying that some of the bags were containing dog carcasses. Now when you wanna retrieve bodies huko, wanasema those are human bodies. So unaona, the government will come up with stories. Na hii kitu, if people are not careful, itaenda tu kama ile ya Shakahola. Itaenda tu idisappear tu hivyo, na unaona.
All right. Thank you. Okay, thank you for indulging me. Appreciate that.
Okay. Thanks, man. I'll drop to the listening team.
All right. Thank you, man. Tom Boyer, what's up?
Hello, asante sana Kibe kwa hii nafasi. I want to address the issue of extrajudicial killing and generally what is happening in Kenya. You see, when you are going to a boxing ring, you are there, 2 of you, there are high expectations of your fans. The only alternative you have is to fight and nothing else, not to run away. You are in a confined area. You are supposed to use all the possible tactics you have so that you win. It's like you are cornered, you only have one option. And when that is the situation, you must use all tactics, brain work, propaganda, and any other thing. I'm giving an example whereby the government is cornered. It has to face the bull by its horn. At the end of the day, what do you expect? Wakenya wanasema kwamba wamechoka na wewe, lazima uanguke. As we are speaking to Ruto, then Ruto and his government, he has to use all the tactics. At this time, you can see, for example, DCI wanasema ati maybe ni cult. They are giving 3 options. They are not sure what it is. Yet, all our lives depends on the Kenyan government, and it has an intelligence that is being paid. For a fact, I can say that hawaizi sema ati hawajui kitu. There is something that is happening, and because Kenyans are protesting, it can be a diversionary tactic. Let us bring a situation like Shakahola so that let people focus on killings. Number 2, hatuwezi sema ati sasa because they are women, now it doesn't matter. It is not related to maandamano because it is women. Hapana. When people are going out to demonstrate, why are we going out to demonstrate? It's about our life, our economic life. At the end of the day, economy affects both gender. And that's why we are seeing many women outside demonstrating. So hata kama ni wanawake 100 wameuawa, we can still say it is in relation to the demonstration. So in my opinion, this thing is about the war. And the war is Ruto must go. I'm sure it is just about that, nothing else. Hakuna venye tunaweza sema ati this revelation of the killings in Kware inatokea tu hii wakati tu yenye sasa maandamano inaendelea. Mbona haikuwa hapo nyuma? Also, are there people wenye wanalia kwamba wamepoteza watu wao? It is true. Watu wanatafutwa hawapatikani. Then where will we claim these people are? To me, it is all about this fight. Another thing, propaganda yenye inatoka hapo ati maybe kuna watu wana champion or there are people funding demonstrations. Ama walete screenshots za WhatsApp, sijui kuna mtu analipwa nini. To me, that doesn't matter. The question is, are public funds being stolen by any way, corruption and anything? If the answer is yes, then it doesn't matter whether kuna mtu amechat mtu mahali, whether amelipwa nini. Aya, are educated Kenyans suffering without jobs? Yes. Are Kenyans being told kwamba tumewatafutia kazi nchi za nje, kwamba hakuna kazi Kenya? And is it something that should bother us? If the answer is yes, then it doesn't matter whether mtu analipwa. Kenyans are out there. Mi nashanga, if we can say that, for example, 20 people are put in a corner na wanalipwa ati ndio wa champion protest, can you compare the gains of those 20 people with millions of Kenya that are out on the streets? Did they sit somewhere and tell them, you know what? This is what we have to do. Lazima tutoke to protest. Can a few people communicate with the whole 20 people to tell them, this is what we want to do? People are out there because of their frustrations, real feelings. Watu wamekasirika. So me, I can say, whether mtu amelipwa ama hajalipwa, this fight is going to continue. Protest will continue. Even those people who are, when you wanna claim ati wamekuwa funded, they can exit the scene. And I can tell you, this thing will continue regardless. So, the tactics that I was talking about in a battlefield, hizo zote propaganda, let us expect them. They are going to be many. And the Kenyans who are protesting because they demand good governance, a corruption-free government, we must also keep devising our tactics. Wacha the opponent atafute zake, sisi pia tutafute zetu. The main aim nani anatoka kwa hii boxing ring with a win. That is my opinion. Asante sana Kibe.
Wewe hapo mwishowe umeua. You've killed it, my guy. Who is going to leave this boxing ring with a win? That's it. Stori zingine mob tuachane nazo. Usimeze propaganda mbaya, my friend. Utoke bila win. Meza good propaganda. That's a good one, man. Yeah, who's going to walk away with a win?
Yes.
Yeah. Simple. It's a simple mathematics. Do not get emotional. Know that there's a win. There's a win for the president. There's a win for Raila. There's a win for Gen Z. You know, let me give you a story. I was born in a family of 3 girls. I'm the only boy. Okay. So during the holidays, I never used to like staying around. I would like to go to my cousin's place because my cousins, they were boys. So there was a lot of activity there. We would play and everything. And there was one who was older than me. There was one who was my age. The one who was slightly younger. So I was within the range of my people. So I learned how to do all these things when I was a boy because they lived in shags. So for me, it was very easy to live in Nairobi and to live in shags because I wanted to be where the boys were, and I wanted boys who I could relate with, and these were my cousins. But the first times when I went there, so they used to be fed in this big thing called a sinia. You know, that big thing like the ones Walalos use, big ass thing. So all the food was put there, and all the kids would sit and eat from the same place. So the first time, my cousin Kimani would give me the bone, the meat with the bone. And for me, because of where I come from, when you're given the bone, it was a privilege. Because the bone was, the one where I had the best, tastiest meat. So the father would take the bone and give it to you. But now in sharks, the bone is a different story. The bone is the person who is stupid because everybody else is going to eat the loose meat. So you are left holding the bone and you've eaten no meat at all. Because in sharks, that bone is, they take out all the meat. So after some time, you guys have not eaten meat for 3 days, and I'm looking at this guy, he keeps giving me the bone, and my cousin is laughing, and I ask him, "Hey, bro, why are you laughing? You're the stupid one. How do you take the bone? The bone is for fools." I'm like, well, "What do you mean?" He says, "The bone is for fools, my guy. Eat the meat first. The bone comes last." Gen Z, mtabaki mmeshika mfupa. Thank you, Tom Boya. Thank you for your thoughts. I appreciate that. Peter Mukangu, are you there?
Yes, I wanted just to emphasize something small on that. There is always a play whereby the government is trying to play with the minds of the citizens. We can refer to the killings. The killings, when we look at the killings there, we see that there is a certain cover-up that is being done by the government, whereby the government is saying a different thing and a different thing with the people who are on the ground. The people who are on the ground who are removing those people in those bags, they are saying a different thing, and the government is emphasizing on a different thing. And then you can never tell me that the National Intelligence Service does not have the intelligence on the killings that are happening. Because we are paying the National Intelligence Service. The taxpayers of the people is the one that is paying the National Intelligence Service in the country. And when they want to divert our mind, we move from protesting against the bad governance. What they are doing, they are trying to manipulate us. They are trying to shift our mentality. They are trying to shift our action from protesting to focus on the killings that they are doing. That's what the government is doing. But we are not going to relent. We are going to against the bad governance that is in this country. That's all.
Peter, that's a very good point. If you focus just on whatever it is that you want, then all this other shit stops becoming an issue. Like the propaganda, it stops becoming an issue. If you just focus on, no, this is what we want, my guy. Like now, yesterday when Raila went to Kware and he tried giving his speech, the Kawaida speech of, hey, we should. The guys are like, hey, we don't want dialogue. What's this? What are you doing here talking to us? We don't want that. Bro, these guys don't need our 50 bobs anymore, bro. They don't need our 200 bob. Hey. And that was a shift that happened in the cities. The shift happened even in the village with a boda coming in. Because the boda liberated people. They were like, hey, now I can move from one place to another and I can make money. And then the internet came. I can move from one place to another and I can make money on my phone. It doesn't matter which place I am in. I am liberated. So when you tell a guy, I'm going to give you 50 bob, it's like 50 bob for what? For me to betray my whole following for 50 bob? Are you crazy? We do not want any negotiations. No dialogue. And Raila is left there like shit. Because Raila is an opportunist. I mean, that's what a politician is. These are opportunists. Wakisikia pahali kuna msiba wanakimbia hapo. Oh, tumekuja kuomboleza na nyinyi. Because they know place kuna msiba kuna camera. These guys have perfected the art of politicking at funeral and churches. At funerals and churches. Oh, tumekuja kuomboleza mwenda zake alikuwa amejaribu sana nini. Na ndio kwa maana tunaambia serikali, unashanga, stori ya serikali imeingia wapi? We were ombolezing here for a minute. God damn it. Samuel, are you there?
Yes, Kibe. Who should we believe?
Go ahead, what's up?
Who should we believe? The question posed by you, Kibe, this morning after you. Should we believe in Kibe? Should we really believe in the government? Should we believe in the Gen Z? Who should we believe? The way the question imekuwa framed is so perfect that inafanya mpaka everyone anaanza kusema, well, maybe you shouldn't even believe in whatever yourself mnataka kufanya. It's a question ya kusema you question yourself. The government always protects its interests. It's not like a software umeunda. Iko na its own mechanism ya kujiprotect. That's what you should expect. And what you believe, it's about a public narrative. See, whatever you believe, ndio inarudiwa mara nyingi sana. Inarudiwa several times, inarudiwa in different means, in different ways. Inakuwa rudiwa until that narrative inakuwa reality. For instance, should we believe the doctors during the pandemic? Tunge believe madaktari? Should we believe the IBC during any elections so far? Tushaijua. What is the record ya kwamba this particular election, actually that one was the good one, okay? Hizi zingine maybe there was, every institute tuko nayo is questionable. Belief is out the door. Trust is out the door. The reputation hakuna. The only way ya play the same game, ya beat the same game, ya beat the system with its own game, ni change the narrative. Kibe, these spaces is a narrative changing environment whereby tuna emphasize on a daily basis. The same way this emphasis inakuwa more on spaces, the more inakuwa reflected on the ground. The more the space, the more action inakuwa on the ground. Now think of it. If there's no these spaces hapa, how do we really even communicate na watu wengine na kuendelesha this thing? Itakuwa hard, itakuwa impossible, itakuwa challenging. The narrative bado inafaa kuendelea. Getting a win where we can get. To fight the system, I would say, kwamba, to my opinion, like is having independent journalism wenye tuko nayo. I'm tired kusikia we have to quote the same mainstream media. Oh, tulisikia ikisemwa hapa. Because ilisemwa hapo, so what? Do you even really trust the mainstream media yetu? Each election, each side inasema nani amewin. It's the same game. Kwamba if we just let them playing. This is like being drunk in a club. As long as uko drunk na music iko on, as long as there's music on, the music ikisimama hivi utajua umelewa, ni saa ngapi, utachangamka uzidi. Saizi they have to keep you drunk, whatever information is useful. See, whatever information saizi, be it bad, be it good, the government, be it these killings, be it deterioration, anything. Kwao ni information yenye ina persuade watu kuangalia something else. Even a little bit of it, even just 1 hour of it, the system ina gain more. Little distractions hapa na pale. Focus on one thing, una hit one target at a time. And one target at a time ni kuangalia the narrative yenye itakuwa kuendelea past this. Because past this government, itakuwa very rude ya kusema any individual haelewi how its government works now. After all this is happening, how can you not know how the government should be working? Huh? This is an opportunity ya kusema tunakuwa na our own media, inakuwa narrative. It's like having a space inaongelewa 24/7, wacha kutokea vipindi katikati. Our own publishing. Right now I'd be reading that magazine saizi yenye tungekuwa tuna quote kwa hii space. Nani ameandika saizi, have you actually read his column? Now that in an institute, because few years, do you think KBC itakuja iseme 1 year later anniversary of what happened? There will be to another story yenye politician waliwalipa na ads zenye wanarun. Nobody will be talking about what happened what wakiingia parliament 5 months from now. I'm a year from now to commemorate this thing. So if to me, looking for a win is looking where to build that trust. You win by building that trust. So who do we believe? Unachukua any institute for instance, we've been saying Ruto must go. There is no way. Everyone is pumped out. Everybody needs to understand. The reason everybody is so angry is because they love a country. The worst thing, Ruto still believes any president. In no one's mind believe that Ruto is a president actually. Every time they see the guy walking around, like, this guy really believe in the president? Does he even really believe I'll win the previous election? Huh? Does he even really believe in the president size? Nothing registers to him. Now, whatever, because the system in a protect its own presidency, as we say, we have to take from the media itself. To our channel and media comes. If they want to talk, if you want dialogue, how about come to our independent media, where you'll be grilled enough? What is the media you want to let go of? They don't bring stuff around. They
But Samuel, I want us to go back to Ruto.
Yes.
Okay, so you said something there, and I want to add this. Do you think Ruto sits and thinks about himself like a bad guy?
Now,
because just hold on before you answer. Yeah. So there's a time I tweeted and I think I tagged him and I asked him, did you ever think that one day you'd go from, the villain, no, from the oppressed to the oppressor? Because nobody ever sees it. Nobody ever sees themselves becoming the oppressor. So right now, Ruto is somewhere in State House, in his head, thinking that he is right and everybody else is wrong.
Kibe,
what do you think?
You should understand. Ruto thinks he's effective. Everyone has been saying Ruto as a young leader, huyo kijana atakuja mahali. Building his confidence kwamba the more corrupt unakuwa kwa system, the more unaonekana you're effective of getting things done without following any rules zenye ziko hapo. You get away with all of it. Even go up to IEC and still get away from it. I'm effective. Now, ukiwa effective that way, not only unapendwa na leaders wenye wako around, the man is effective that even leaders wako wengine. That's why if you want to make something, if the problem we have has to go international, elections ndo zinafanyanga inafanya kwa international, which we haven't got there yet. But if we want to be that effective, Ruto ako effective people want to back around Kibe. They are on a party's shoulders. You're doing the right thing every single time. Even when he fails, he's still doing the right thing. Why? Amesaidia system more than amesaidia. He believes kwamba the system is the principal core ya wananchi. That wananchi wana build the system. Is the system imekuwa build for the wananchi? Not the other way around. The guy has to believe kwamba this is a coronation. There is no way you can you can be smiling on a daily basis, Kibe. On the other side, you are talking or doing exact opposite, and with the same belief system in Yakonaya, the clergy says, do even should we believe the clergy here? Huh? So this is going too far, Kibe. If we really have kusema Ruto has to change, ni kufanya our calling going international. Like I've been saying earlier, when you put elections, when you talk about elections, it brings international people around. Unaona? So is it international wanza kusema, okay, now this is about election. This is about every nation inaangalia hapa hivi around. Now, by looking so, the friends wenye wamekuwa kibaki to kwamba Ruto's been traveling for a long time. His friends of the overseas wenye wanaleta business in our country, they're the ones backing up kuambia aje. If our interests ziko bado in place, na bado we can see through this interest, regardless wewe uko ama uko, tunaweza kutrust ukiwa kwa this difficult time. If Ruto comes out fully in this stuff, we will see foreign investment ejaona. And it only contained only in one direction. It is more of oppression. The guy believes kwamba the more oppressed uko, the more government works. So it's it's a delusional belief. The guy, remember Akibe, he's never worked. For instance, jamaa hajaikuwa na payslip. Doesn't understand how hajui biashara inafanyika namna gani. Hata ile kuku unasema namna gani. Amekuwa into government for all these years. So he believes kwamba the solution to every problem a Kenyan has, the government has to be the solution to that. And that's where the problem is. Kwamba serikali inakuwa into everything. Mpaka inafika mahali bro unafikiria about kichwa inakuuma. You think serikali ya make you believe kwamba it has that. The narrative has been portrayed kwa media since we grow up, manze. Ni every time unasikia tu politicians wanajibizana all around. Scandals all around. Every day. Wao wana dictate watu unasikia, watu unataka kusikia, when unasikia na unasikia saa ngapi. So if we can change the way sisi tunakuwa fed information, then tunaondoka from the system itself. The system imetu condition. Even right now, imekuwa condition kuambia you can't even fight. Already people imekuwa condition. Inakuwa separated. It's gone to a head with so much information that unakuwa afraid of being afraid. It can't get to that because the conditioning has got worse. It's more of indoctrination kwanza. Ukienda shule. Kitambo unaona shule unafunzwa about Kanu. Unafunzwa about mbona tusifunzwa about idea juzi ama whatever or anything else or anything regardless to anything else. Iko saizi. What I can go deep in this, but Ruto believes in his belief is an effective leader and anaweza fanya kitu regardless. He kuingia parliament doesn't seem to bother him at all. Doesn't seem to bother him at all. Watu kukufa, it's like so watu wanakufa, it's like unexpected mjue. Didn't you not know kwamba system will protect itself? Did you know kwamba watu watakufa? Ama nyinyi mlikuwa mnafikiria wataenda aje? It's like you guys don't know how these things work. Amujue tunadila mabandits huku nje. The narrative imechangiwa. They called the government wants you believe one thing. And if you don't believe it, then maybe you're the problem. Now, the narrative has to change, Kibe. And it has to change in an individual. If we want to get a win, ni kujiondoa from the system itself. This every time nimesikia hivi kwa kitu, I'm like, mbona ingekuwa kwa different? It's like the way information flow works, the way the government decides. All this time tumesikia the president speak. Have you even heard tumesikia press secretary ameita reporters to scare what's going on? He's a representative, he's a spokesman of the president. Analipwa kuongea about the president. We never get to hear this part. We never get to hear how they. So it's very understandable kwamba constitution kwake is just it's a laying ground. As long as the puppets in the West wako happy, no one wanakupati in the back, you're good to go. You can run your country to the ground. As long as uko na international backing. He's been running around saying democracy. Has he said democracy of late? He wants to save democracy. He's been saying democracy. He's fighting for climate change and democracy. It's like, are you crazy? Watu wanaumia mtaa na huyu jamaa is a raving lunatic, manze. The guy anamka asubuhi, he believes one thing. The next thing is a different thing. Ana adapt na vile sisi tuna adapt. System inamsaidia kwa. He's a very effective man. Kwa Kenya anafanya. Na Kenya anafanya is just very bad. So we have to be very effective as well. Kenya tunafanya. to get that ambition. So it's that clear. There's no other way around about it. You either go through the bush, not around the bush. History ya kuzunguka, we want what are we bonging? Tunabonga nini? History tumebonga, tumeshinanga tukibonga. Every dialogue, every time, every simple dialogue inakuwa changed because whatever they come out of there is a narrative. Oh, okay. Juu walikutana, we expect ni kama something ya maana ilifanyika. Nothing. Wanaenda wanakupanga wewe ukiwa huko. Hatuwezi ruhusiwa kupangwa and then unapangwa kwa narrative. Yani already before uambiwe umeanza kumake you believe kwamba whatever is happening, whatever, it's not. And deep speculation ya things inafanya watu wanakuwa, for instance, mbona hapa Mkuru kwa Ruben wajamaa wanaokotwa kama nani manze, watu wanakufa. The opportune time like this, a lot of things can happen. Agitators, no. If you want to get your name on the news, ama unataka kuwa relevant, you'd use opportunity like this. Most people wenye wako na pesa ama wanaweza fund anything ya kufanya very serious stuff, they will get on board. And these killings, I think we should wait. I just believe there's just more of this. It's just imepatikana on a different circumstance. I just believe there's more, and there's more of it. People can't just be disappearing like that, man. Just out of nowhere, it's just gone. It's like ujamata Zaymora kwa space, amepotelea wapi? What's going on? Nona, and then tuko na different actors around wenye wanataka pia kuplay hero. Kuna mafala wanachukua tu this opportunity ya kusema aje pia wataangaisha mayouth, wataangaisha watu. Grudges za tene mtu analipa saizi. Ule jamani nilikuwa na shida naye 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Saizi ni time nzuri ya mimi kuemendea. This kind of nonsense. That's unapata kama hakuna mass the way to co-organize. Inakuwa even hard to protect our own interests. You have a good interest, you have a good a narrative, you just have to put out there to protect this interest is abducted and other things. So Kibe, you can tell everybody is akoyoning kupata something, wants to be part of a solution. Part of a solution, it doesn't come easy. And you get win as you get it. Not the whole chunk. But unaenda ukichukua whatever you get. And you protect it because the next time, ikienda, there is no coming back again. And as we can say, lazima tusimame hapa daima. There is no, if hii mlango ilifunguka, you open this door. So if you shut it, will be the worst. You open this door and we are getting through it. So everybody has to focus on kuendelea mbele. Not thinking about shutting the door and thinking about tutafikiria nini. So hiyo narrative unaambiwa saizi, I can't even go with the church itself and every school. Mbona kila shule iko na church ndani? It's like why can't just watu wasome kwa chuo na church ikuwe tu hapo? They control everything. Government ina control church, church ina control people. Wewe unakuwa controliwa na mwanasiasa, siasa ina control TV, TV ina control vile mna believe. Mnaekewa movie ya narrative. Next tuko fucked up, hata tujui ni wapi na tunaanzia. Now everybody is waking up, anaanza kushindwa. Yaani nilikuwa nimelala the whole damn time. Huko umelala, huko umeambiwa vitu ziko sawa na uko na fighter anaitwa Ruto. Ruto is doing the job for you, manze. So you guys, this guy is out of his fucking mind and it pisses me off every time nikimsikia kibonga. Nikimsikia akizunguka, nikimsikia hata bro nakuwa agitated vibaya sana. Vibaya sana. So wacha tuendelee tu na hii form tajua ni aje. Thanks Hibe.
Samuel. Hey. Hapo sawa. Hapo sawa. You know, sometimes it's good to just shut up and listen. Mko na wisdom ingine watagwan. Thank you, Samuel, for that wonderful submission, man. Appreciate it. Wajiro,
Kife,
what's up?
good morning. So I'll try to be as concise as possible. I grew up going to a particular school in Nairobi. It's a military school. It's called Utawala Academy. I don't know if you have other people here who went to that school. Utawala Academy is in Utawala. It's within the base of the GSU. Then there's AP. Then there's anti-riot. So we had all these officers teaching us in class. I've interacted a lot with them, and also my mother has been a police officer, I think now 37 years. She's retiring very soon. So I've had a close relationship with the police. I've lived in police camps all my life. So the proximity is quite there. But there's one thing I'd want to point us to, just two particular issues. In 1989, I think should be 89, I wasn't even born then. My father was involved with issues around like bringing Moi down, and he was politically aligned at that time. He was a police officer, but he was politically aligned. And the end to it was they came to our house. That time they used to do a lot of the special branch was very careful to look for people who listened to Karl Marx. So, and the books, the Karl Marx at the time, they were also being printed, heavily printed. So they came to our house, and I remember my sister was on my mom's back. My mom had that, she got word, because she was a police officer as well. She got word that those guys are coming home. So she had my sister, who was about a couple of months old, akamchukua, akamweka kwa mgongo. Then she put all those books inside the baby, whatever you call the blanket. So the guys came and ransacked the house, and they didn't find anything. So what happened after is my dad went to exile, and he was in exile for a couple of years until this pastor, whatever we call Mamlaka Hill today. The pastor went to Moi and requested for people to come back from exile, and Moi accepted, and that's how my dad came back to the country, and he's been here for a while. We move on to the early 2000s, and again, it was a very interesting political time, because for a long time, when Moi came in, if you have any person who's a child of a police officer, who's a police officer, they'll tell you he brought in a lot of people from Rift Valley into police work, into DCI, because they were quite loyal. They were very, very loyal people. In fact, my mom reminds me that by that time, because she had served for a while, they used to go to Rift Valley and just there was no recruiting that side. It was just getting people into trucks, taking them to the training ground, guys getting their paperwork done now in serikali. There was nothing like masomo. So most of the senior guys you find from Rift Valley, I'm sorry to say, because I know them personally, I've lived with them, they're not learned. They're not, whatever you call learned here is on-job training. So they not even good in kuongea. That's why we had issues like siege, people just being picked up from the woodworks and being brought to serve us. Now, I go to Utawala Academy, and in Utawala Academy, something was very interesting about that school is it was a very well-respected government school by government officers. So I went to school with a lot of prominent people's children, and it was a very pompous school in terms of watoto wa watu wametoka kwa, let's say, Mado in that sense, because my mom happened to take me there because she was a police officer, and there was a sort of priority given to children of police officers to go to police officer schools. There's another one called, I think, Kutumishi Boys. There are a couple of schools that police officers are given priority, but I happened to be in the same class as children of prominent ministers, the Karisa Maidas, the Samuel Pogishos, the Mudi Awori had a grandchild, Musalia Mudavadi had a grandchild, a lot of politicians. And so for me, I've had, and then growing up now to where I am now, some of these people have remained my close friends, or rather people I know their whereabouts, either they're in Kenya, they're Canada, or wherever. And something that is very clear to me in all this, when I can look back in retrospect, is the game of politics is loyalty. The game of politics is loyalty. Some of the people who went to class with, I probably did better than them. I went to the University of Nairobi, I finished, I've worked all over. But you'll always find the trajectory of even a child's politicians versus yours, even when you had the same, let's say, level of education and everything, will never be the same. Why? Because there's a lot of loyalty. So what happens when their parents go back into government and they're working, the rest of us will wait for our calling letters, they'll be taken abroad. This is the same government that sold us that, for example, education is not important, we kuwa hustler, we fanya mama mboga work, whatever, but their kids, if you look closely, their kids are abroad, getting their PhDs, getting their degrees. They have apartments all over the world. They have cars they are driving. They have stipends. While us, on the other hand, after you finish the University of Nairobi, you have to fight for yourself there on and see, okay, what else do I do with myself? So on the point of loyalty, it's something we have to investigate carefully. Back in the day, my dad was somewhat involved also with the YK92 when he came back. And the YK92 was very well funded by Moi. And they used to do a lot of work with the special branch for extrajudicial killings. So whatever you see today